Well, so what exactly does today's results mean for the APC and for Nigeria as a whole? Let's bring in Kehinde Bamigbetan, a member of Tinubu's campaign office and a former commissioner for information in Lagos State. Thank you very much for joining us on Newsnight.
Because it's my pleasure.
I'm sure you paid rapt attention to the three gentlemen we just heard there from the Southeast, making a very strong case for the Southeast that it really should have, in an ideal situation, if justice and fairness were really the order of the day, that the Southeast really shouldn't have been left out of this. There are people who have said, yeah, congratulations, of course, first of all, to your principal who emerged, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Some actually say that he should have, as a statesman, supported the Southeast to emerge instead of running.
Now, the point is that, as one of the speakers said, there was no zoning at the end of the day. It was thrown open. So that basically moved the line of the argument from a zoning policy to a no zoning policy. And I think basically the idea basically was to show that ultimately let the best come out, let the best win. And in that context, I think it now requires people who want to be president from any part of the country to play the politics better, to play the diplomacy better, to ensure that they network better so that they can get it. It's very, very, very dangerous to begin to expect Mr. President to sidetrack the standard legal processes for electing a candidate by bringing in affirmative actions. It's very, very dangerous. Because then what you're saying is that you are creating a law that's outside the law. You are making Mr. President to become a law unto himself, when in fact the Electoral Act has already stated the processes that you require for you to become the president. So that thing basically, we have to address the issue that while it's very important that we want things to, we want to affirm our rights, or to talk of geopolitical considerations, or to talk about federal character, it still must take place within a legal environment, between the democratic process.
Right, but does it have to be codified? Does it have to be in the law to say, look, this is what will be fair to all Nigerians? And the question is, what does it mean for the APC and especially for Nigeria if any part of the country will feel a sense of being left out?
There's no reason to feel left out because the field of play was open to all.
Okay.
You had the opportunity of traveling north, west, south, east, and to mop up, to explain, to canvass, to mobilize. You were not stopped. Nobody was stopped. Nobody was constrained. So it now required on your own resources, your capacity, your strategy, for you to be able to determine whether you can win or not. The field was very, very open in this primaries.
All right,
and
great.
we'll take advantage of it next time.
Indeed, and somebody who seems to have taken a very good advantage of it is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who very apparently has shown that he is a master class, a master strategist. He did say that he didn't expect to win. What exactly were the fears? And how will Tinubu sell himself to the generality of Nigerians? I mean, he has overcome the first hurdle. There is the general election to go to, and people are saying, can Tinubu win? Can he beat Atiku at the ballot?
Well,
what are his chances?
You asked two questions. The first has to be the fears. Of course, they were genuine fears. The fact that you were talking about the vice president, who you could think might have had the support of people in the villa. You were also talking of other contestants, who were equally very brilliant and also very strategic. You could see how Amechi came to be second. That shows you that he was a very good force, very formidable force in the contest, pushing even the vice president to the third position. So those were the kind of fears, that we saw. And essentially, you also had a lot of issues having to do with bad press, opposition strategy. And what we did from day one was to say that, we've been on this for quite a long time. We know where the hurdles were, and we were able to scale the hurdles, because we were already aware of what the opposition would say, and that helped a lot. But the second question about how he will win, I can tell you that since 1992, when he ran for his first election and became a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and won the highest number of votes in that election the first time, he has been in the cockpit of Nigerian politics. And that basically means that, take for example, one of our opponents now, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, we offered him our platform, to run for the president before. and we were able, of course, to know the capacity at that point in time. So we understand.
Are you still concerned about that capacity?
We know we are monitoring that capacity, and we know that if the ballots happen like tomorrow, we will surely defeat him, hands down, with another landslide.
But he had a moment to talk about the PDP that he actually called the Poverty Development Party and referred to the 16 years of the opposition party. Yeah. But his own party, the APC, has had 8 years in the saddle. Yes. Is it not an indictment that Nigerians really have not forgotten or have not, been taken out of poverty, taken out of all the other challenges, socioeconomic, political, security challenges that Nigerians have been facing? Is that not an indictment on his own party?
I mean, all over the world, we are always dealing with fresh challenges of terrorism, challenges of poverty. They're all over the world. What governments do is to see how far they can go in solving the problem. And unless you have statistics that we don't have, what is available is that through various programs of the government, there has been a large increase, in the number of poverty reduction programs that we have implemented, targeting the traders, targeting the farmers, targeting the youth, and all these have helped to sanitize the environment a bit. Of course, the jobs still continue, and that's why you have new governments coming in to develop new strategies to solve the whole problems. And we can tell you that from our own perspective, as strategic communications experts, what I want to approve from day one is look at Lagos and build on the track record of Lagos to scale it up to what we have in the country. And basically, it's the issue of terrorism and the issue of economic crisis. We intend to show that it is possible to reduce these issues by creating a stronger welfare state, where citizens can be assured of their security, and they can also be productive in the way we push government resources to them.
Let's talk about the track record in Lagos that you just referred to. Yeah. Some would say what has been described as Tinubu's strengths may actually be his weakness. Those who have said the stranglehold, what they call the stranglehold of Tinubu on Lagos forever. I mean, since he's been in the saddle since 1999 till date. Some have actually, used this against him, saying if he gets to the center as president, is that what we want, the stranglehold? And they've named all kinds of things, his weaknesses. The issue of corruption continues to hover over him as a dark shadow and all of that. How is he going to extricate himself from this perception, this general perception?
You see, the first is not a general perception, the perception by the opposition. So let us not call it general. Okay. All right, depends on what you're reading. The second thing is, it started by setting up a development plan for Lagos, a 25-year development plan for Lagos that already envisages and anticipates the problems that Lagos will have. And that has been going on over time. And what we have is not, you are saying, but what is happening basically is that it's just a symbol of a massive, outlay of human beings, leaders, at various levels, trying to build Lagos anew, trying to build Lagos afresh, using the Lagos State Development Program. That program already determines, how Lagos will be, at what point are we going to bring in water, expand water resources, at what point are we going to go into...
we're talking about Nigeria.
Yes, because, see, the point is visioning is a basic economic strategy that started over a long time, even in Nigeria. You had the Vision 2020 program. That started a long time ago. So what we did in Lagos was just to bring the visioning concept to vision what Lagos will be in another 20 years. And what we have in Lagos so far, the blue line, the red line, all the lines coming up, they were projected over 20 years ago. And that tells you that once you have a projection of where you're going and you continuously mobilize the resources to achieve it, you are going to get to the kind of Lagos that we have today. And when you scale it up to a national level, what it basically means is, if a government came in Lagos and established LASMA, which was not there before, mobbed a lot of undergraduates who are roaming the streets, it established KAI, established various over 30 new agencies that were able to mob a lot of graduates roaming the streets and therefore reduce unemployment. If a government set up...
But can you use the same templates, in a multifaceted, multicultural, multi-ethnic society like Nigeria?
All this. Okay. Lagos is multi-ethnic, Lagos is multicultural, it's a microcosm of Nigeria. And so if you could do that and manage that kind of a system, and everybody today is going to Lagos.
What will be his major focus?
Economic development and combating insecurity. Those are the two key elements of this program. Within the first 12 months, we'll begin to see changes in the way our economy will grow and the way insecurity will be given a serious fight.
Let's talk about very quickly. I mean, he did say in his speech that those who did not support him will have nothing to fear. How is it going to relate with Oshibajo, for example?
Yes.
And all the other people
one good thing about Ashura mentioned is that he has the generosity of spirit. He is able to work with everybody. He's able to call even his sworn enemies that when they knock on the door, even after having serious fight with him, when they knock on his door, he opens and embraces them with a big hug.
Kehinde Bamigbetan, thank you very much for joining us on Newsnight.